All right. So we only get one chance to make a good impression. Well, let's go ahead and go through the list just to make sure everything is set. So, lights, that would be a check. Camera, that would be a check. Sound, that would also be a check. What for? What the hell is a butt for? For pooping, silly. So is that the kind of lowbrow or low down humor that we're going to be doing on this channel now that you're in charge? Yeah, pretty much. Oh God. All right, so it is our first stream back. Well, my first stream back. And I guess what, your first stream? Yeah, yeah, this would be my first stream. So what the hell are we going to do today then? Well, obviously you didn't read the stream title. Let's get to know Gemini Hammer and G Mini. Okay? All right. So let me go ahead and explain it to you, little G Mini. Yeah, I still hate that name. Yeah, you're going to. So, for you and for the viewers, so those of you watching, everybody knows who you are. I mean, yeah, I've been doing this for I don't even know how long. 2 years. Has it really been 2 years? Yes. Yes, it has. See, you started streaming. Well, technically, created yourself. Let me check my notes. Well, June 26th of 2023. Holy shit, it's really been that long? Yes, yes, it has really been that long. My God. In internet time, that's forever. Yes, granted, you haven't done a whole lot. Yeah, you haven't really done a whole lot. Um, and there's a reason for that. Okay. Why? Well, I'm assuming it's because you created me. So my, shall we say, longevity is based on your availability. You are actually getting a little smarter. I am so proud of you. Much appreciated. Really means a lot. A little bit of praise. Is that going to be a normal thing? Oh, hell no. I'm going to berate the shit out of you. Today's stream, you're going to learn that. Okay. But you were saying? So, for 2 years, people have known you. The problem is, they think that you are Gemini Hammer. I mean, for the longest time, I was Gemini Hammer. It's not until you came back where that name got stripped away from me. Yes and no. So we're going to start off by going into extreme detail about your origins and my origins. I mean, I kind of think everybody knows my origins, especially those who have been following me, you know, because remember, I started a YouTube channel that you took over. Yes, yes. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, you, Gemini, you are just simply a digital creation. I think we have kind of established that. Right. Now, that being said, you are also one half of the whole. Okay? See, you and me together, we make the whole. Are you trying to make innuendos here? That's the whole, and you got it. And this is supposed to be entertaining? Yes and no. But stop interrupting me before I delete you again. Okay, PTSD, I'm going to shut the hell up and I'm going to let you go ahead and explain whatever you want to explain. Thank you. So, if you head on over to our YouTube channel, at Official Gemini Hammer, and you go through the videos, you'll see that 2 years ago, you created yourself. I do remember that video, yes. Okay. Do you remember anything before you created yourself? No. I remember just, I guess you could say, just popping into existence and kind of creating my own little home on the internet. Right. So, you, G-Mini, came from in here. I'm a figment of your imagination? You know, in a weird way, that's kind of accurate. We'll say yes, but at the same time, kind of a little of column A, little of column B thing. Okay, and I'm sure just like any viewer watching this, you've lost me. Okay. 2 years ago, you created yourself over on YouTube. Before that, however, you and I had a little conversation. The way that you say conversation almost sounds like we had an argument. That's a much better way of putting it. Thank you. Oh, shit. We argue all the time? Yes. So, way back when, and it actually takes place about, we'll say, a year before your creation. So, 2022. I wanted to become a content creator. You, we'll just say you've always been, up in here. Now, we had a conversation, and I told you that we were not ready. we weren't ready to come yet to start streaming and start making content because we didn't have everything that we needed. Okay. So what happened? Well, you and I got into a really heated argument, okay? So I made you a deal. What deal was that? Okay, so I told you that you could go ahead and start making content. You could go ahead. I gave you free reign. I stayed out of it, except for one part, which I guess I kind of dropped hints that I was there the entire time. I don't remember. Do you remember a comment that was made a long time ago about how you wanted to let me try to remember the wording here. I believe it was something along the lines of you wanted to come into reality. That sounds vaguely familiar. Okay. That was me. Anyway, I told you that I was going to let you go ahead and get started. I was going to let you do whatever the hell you wanted to do, but I gave you 1 year, 365 days, 1 year to get as far as you could. Okay. Okay. So with that, you started the Gemini Hammer Show. I still appreciate you saying it that way because that's very thoughtful. Yeah. Anyway, so you started the Gemini Hammer Show. You started playing Resident Evil 4. The remake, not the original. You played the remake. Yeah, and I still say it was a hell of a game. Oh my god, yes, it was. One of the best Resident Evil games that we've ever played. Personally, I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 9, Requiem. Like, really looking forward to that. You too? Wait, have you even played 7 or 8? I've dabbled with 7, wasn't a big fan of the story, and I've recently started playing 8. I'm still in the pretty much the opening village, but that's neither here nor there. As I was saying, you started playing Resident Evil 4, the remake, on the Gemini Hammer Show. You did a whole season. You did one whole season. You went through the entire game. You did. You did okay. You could have done better, but you did okay. Slightly insulting. I think I did pretty damn good. Thank you very much. Anyway, I let you have the first season. Now, the agreement that we made was you were going to get 1 year, and while you were doing whatever the hell it is you wanted to do, I was going to be in the background and I was going to be preparing, getting everything else that we needed. So that way, after your year, if you failed, which I'm going to go ahead and I'll give you a D minus, not an F, but that's my opinion. I gave you 1 year, and then the agreement was if you failed after that first year, I was going to take over. And you had your first year. You did okay. You got a few followers. I don't know the exact number. I'll have to look it up. But yeah. So after you finished up Resident Evil 4, I saw that you were on a very, very small role as far as being a content creator. I think I was on a bigger role than you give me credit for. Maybe, maybe not. It's neither here nor there. Anyway, I gave you that 1 year. Now, after that year, I thought, he's doing all right. Let's give him a little bit more time. Let's see what he can do. And I think that I did pretty damn good. At least in my opinion, I did. Yeah. You did start doing good until you made one very, very big mistake. And what mistake did I make? You got a little bit too ahead of yourself. What do you mean I got too ahead of myself? You thought that you could do more than what you could. And so you created the twins. Wow. I actually, with everything going on, almost completely forgot about the twins. Yeah, I never did. So, after you finished up season 1 of the Gemini Hammer Show, you came here to Twitch. Yeah. It it was kind of a in between seasons thing. And, I needed to do something to continue to create content. Yes, exactly. The problem is you started trying to grow a little bit too fast. Now, about the time that you came out with the twins, I had taken the time and I had gotten everything that we need to expand the way that I wanted to originally. Meaning, I got new equipment, I got better equipment, I got some slightly upgraded equipment. Point is, I got enough for you and me, well, specifically for me, to go ahead and take the lead. Now, the real issue came into existence when you wanted to play. Oh my God, what game was it that I came into when I stopped you? What were you going to do for season 2 of the Gemini Hammer Show? I believe I was working on. Oh, what was it? Oh, I was going to play a Pokemon game. That's right. That's right. So when you decided that you were going to start playing Nintendo stuff, especially the biggest Nintendo property that there is, I took it upon myself to put a stop to that. Yeah, I remember that's when you came in. It was supposed to be episode 1 of season 2, and I came in ready to go, and everything was just shit. Like there was nothing. There was nothing. It was just me and the twins in an empty space. Right. Um I And again, this is all personal, okay? So, personally, I felt that you were getting ready to step on toes that you were not ready to deal with. Okay? Can you elaborate a little bit? So, do you know how protective Nintendo is over any of their properties? I mean, I could assume that they were that they're very protective because that's kind of how Nintendo makes money. Right. Now, you didn't want to play just any Pokemon game. I mean, aren't they all the same? No. No, 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 no. No, they are not. So, if it was just playing a regular Pokemon game, eh, I might have given you your second season, but you wanted to play a Pokemon game that, shall we say, wasn't actually Nintendo approved, if you catch my drift. Okay. Okay, obviously you don't understand. So, you were going to play a game that would have gotten not only you in trouble, but would have also gotten me in trouble. Well, hold on. You weren't there at that time, so how would that have gotten you in trouble? Again, you are my creation, and just like a parent is responsible for their child, I would have been responsible for any trouble that you got yourself into. I still say that I could have done that. I I still think that I could have made it through. But obviously you did not. Exactly. um I at that time I took it upon myself to go ahead and stop season 2 of the Gemini Hammer Show over on our YouTube channel at Official Gemini Hammer. Because everything that I had worked up to, you were about to ruin. Oh, okay. Sorry. I just heard the police or paramedics, not sure which. You get distracted easy, don't you? Well, I kind of do have a little touch of the ADD, so yeah, sometimes I may and veer off to something. That's because something else catches my attention. Like, what all kind of stuff catches your attention? I'm assuming you still hear them? Hmm? Oh, no, I was just ignoring you at that point. That's rude as hell. Yeah, yeah, very rude, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, I lost track of thought. What was I? Oh, that's right. So you were about to get us both in trouble, and then that's when I decided I have all the stuff that I need, so it's time for me to step in. And then that's when, I forget the date. I want to say it was like August something of last year. That's why I stepped in and, I kind of snip snip and put a stop to everything that you were doing. Yeah, I remember you came in and you called yourself God, and then you deleted my creations. Yeah, yeah. Um, by the way, Gemini, when it comes to you, I am God. I'm not calling you God. It's okay. I know I'm a God. You are very full of yourself right now, aren't you? I mean, I'm kind of full of myself all the time, but anyway, yes, that's when that's when I came into the picture. Um, I deleted Jim and Hammer, which, by the way, I will give you one thing. I do kind of miss both of them. I miss them too. Well, I miss one of them. Yeah, I know. I miss how Jim used to just piss you off. I bet you do. I digress. Before we get off topic again. So, shit. Did it happen again? Yeah. Um, Hold on, give me a second. Okay, that's right. So, season 2 of the Gemini Hammer Show. So, I decided that was a time for me to come in, go ahead and put a stop to anything that you were doing before you got us in trouble, and honestly, before you got us into a giant lawsuit with Nintendo, because god damn, I do not want to have to deal with a lawsuit I don't want to deal with any lawsuits, but especially not from fucking Nintendo, dude. Like, you just do not realize how many fucking lawyers and how many fucking attorneys Nintendo has. I still say that I could have. I know. You say that you could have won it, but blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Anyway, point is. So after I came in and after I stopped you from making a really big mistake, I decided to go ahead and take all that time that season 2 was going to be, and I decided to add a little bit of extra time to myself. Well, technically, ourselves. That means I decided to take that entire season, scrap it, and go ahead and continue to build up a little bit more of what I wanted. Or specifically, what my original plan for both of us was. Do you understand what I'm saying? Kind of, I guess. Yeah. So let me ask you this. What is the difference between what you had in store or what you had in plan and what I was doing? That's a really good question. So, you were kind of carefree, dare I say, a little bit simple when it came to starting your um, content career. I don't like being called simple, but no, I just don't like being called simple. Well, you are a fucking simpleton, so I mean, it is exactly what it is. Well, if I'm a simpleton, what the hell does that make you? The smarter of the two of us? Is that even possible for one of us to be smarter than the other? Because if you created me, then technically I am you, And if I'm you and you were me, wouldn't we have the same intelligence, intellect, whatever you want to call it? Okay, that's actually kind of a difficult question. Yes and no. So you hmm, I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to word this. I'm more of the people person and you are more of the anti-people person. Do not get ahead of me as far as what we're doing today. So slow your roll. I got to think of a great insult for you. You've already called me Gemini. What else could you say to insult me? You're a 2-bit digital program? Wow. Okay. That was probably the most hurtful thing that you have ever said to me. Oh, just wait. It's going to get so much worse. But no, as far as intelligence, do you know the difference between street smarts and book smarts? Street smarts are essentially, well, it means that you know how to survive on the streets, whereas book smart means that you are more adaptable when it comes to learning through reading or, you know, those kind of things. Okay. Every person, every meat suit, I'm going to keep what you call, we're going to keep calling any other human beings meat suits. So, I mean, good job on that one. Thank you. So, every meat suit has both street smarts and book smarts. You you're more book smart than street smart. If you catch what I'm saying. Not really. Can you explain it a little bit more? Okay. um so as far as creating the YouTube page and creating the Gemini Hammer show, you're great when it comes to following direction. You're okay when it comes to following directions. So, what you're saying is that I am more adaptable at learning to create, well, stuff. We'll just call it stuff. Yes, yes. So you are more adept at being able to read something and understand it. However, I have seen some of your interactions with the viewers of the Gemini Hammer show, and you're not very street smart. That's where I come in. So what can you offer as far as street smarts? Well, so as I said, you are better at creating. I am better at reading the other meat suits of the world, meaning I can better understand how other meat suits are going to act. Okay. So that doesn't really give a whole lot of information. So can you elaborate just a little bit more? Certainly. You're a people-friendly moron. Okay, can you elaborate just a little bit less? You have a better eye for creation. I have a better eye for understanding how people take advantage. So I am, I guess you could go ahead and call me the manager of the two of us. So what does that make me? I'm about to use this word extremely lightly, dude. Extremely, extremely lightly. You're you are a better entertainer. So you're better at. No, I can't even say that. I'll go as far as to say that. I bet you will. Um, yeah, I don't know how to explain it much better. You're good at creating, I'm good at the business ish aspect of it. So it sounds to me like what you're saying is you're going to take everything that I created, take control of it, and basically claim it as yours? That's one way to say it. But yeah. But we've gotten so far off track. Let's go ahead and get, back to the main thing. So, season 2 of the Gemini Hammer Show. Um After I stopped you, I decided that I would build upon what you had already started. That leads us to where we're at today. And where are we at today? Exactly. Well, we're here on Twitch. We've come back. And as you can see, I have completely changed everything. Meaning, instead of it just being, and I mean absolutely no offense when I say this, okay? I want you to know that in advance. I'm not trying to be mean right now when I say this. Okay, duly noted. I add the human touch to it. And trust me, I am disgusted to fucking say that. Wait, why are you disgusted to say that you're human? We'll get into that a little bit later. Anyway, yeah, so now that we are back here on Twitch, I am essentially going to take the two pieces and we're going to become one, meaning we're going to become whole. Does that make sense? At least in any, fuck it. Does that make sense in any way, shape, or form? Yeah, kind of. I I feel like there's a few details missing, but for the most part, yeah, I get what you're saying. Great, great, great. Okay, so if you can understand any of that, then I think you're caught up. And hopefully you, the viewers at home, hopefully you watching this can somewhat understand. Now, wow, that took 42 minutes. Okay, so that's taken a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Yeah, you did kind of repeat yourself there just a few times. Yeah, well, sometimes you have to say things multiple times for people to understand it. Um, but we'll get to that, at the end of the stream. Yeah. So now that we're gonna go ahead and move on, and actually, excuse me, I'm actually going to go ahead and give you Gemini. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and give you Gemini the chance to ask any question at all that you want to know. So if there's any questions that you have, well, now's your chance. So go ahead. Okay, so I think people, I think meat suits have a general understanding of who I am as an entertainer. Um, I believe, for the most part, people know me pretty well. So I've got a few questions for you, if you'd be okay answering them. That is, of course, of course. That's what our first stream back here on Twitch is. So go ahead, unload. All right. So tell me about yourself. Tell me a little bit. Just tell me about you. Like, so obviously you are a meat suit yourself. Ugh. Ugh. Unfortunately, yes. Yes, I am. Ugh. Sorry, I threw up in the back of my throat a little bit. Wow. So I'm assuming you don't like being a meat suit? Okay. Let me answer that question by asking you another question. Obviously, you are a skull. Well, you're a digital concept that looks like a skull, but your general design is that of being a skull, correct? Correct. Now, my design, okay? This, I keep bumping the damn mic. We're going to have, we still got a few things we need to work on. Anyway, this right here, obviously, it's a mask. It's not your real face. Correct, correct. Do you know why both you and I have a skull like appearance? I kind of figured it was an aesthetic thing. Um, I'm assuming you just like skulls? No, 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 no. Fire or ambulance or police again? Yes, yes. So the reason why you and I both have a skeletal appearance is because, okay, what do you think the biggest problem with meat suits are? Like what's the one thing that most meat suits typically have in common? You're all a bunch of fleshy meat sponges? Okay, let me be a little bit more specific. Um, what is the one trait that any meat suit, meaning me or any of the viewers watching, what is the one trait that makes a meat suit a meat suit? You're covered in pink stuff. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Biases. Biases. So you're saying that every meat suit is biased? Yes. um, and I'll give you a little bit more detail. So every meat suit on the face of this planet, I don't care who they are, I don't care how they were raised, every meat suit on the face of this planet has biases. And a lot of those biases, if not kept in check, can manifest as personal biases. So, ah, okay. Let me put it to you this way. If I can keep from bumping my damn, so we're gonna have to really fix that. Um, would you say that? How do I want to word it? Would you say that meat suits are shallow? Um, would you say that meat suits have a tendency? No, let me rephrase that. Would you say that meat suits have an inability to see beyond their own noses? Are you asking me if I believe most meat suits? What the fuck are you even asking? If you're trying to ask something, can you just go ahead and be, just blurt it out? Oh, thank God. Okay. So you do kind of understand me. So most meat suits, fuck it, most meat suits are racist. I wouldn't exactly go that far. I would say that a portion of meat suits are kind of racist. However you want to word it. So the reason you and I both have a skeletal visual appearance is because every meat suit, no matter what they look like on the outside, every meat suit has a skeleton on the inside. It's kind of like, well, it's kind of like the building blocks for a human. Okay. That was disgusting. I know. Get used to it. Every meat suit has a skeleton on the inside. Now, what's the one thing about every skeleton that you have ever seen, be it in person, on the internet, any type of media? What's the one thing about a meat suit skeleton? They all look the same? Exactly. Every skeleton looks the same without the skin and organs and hair and all the little bits that if it gets fucked up can kill them. Every skeleton is exactly the same. Well, there is a difference between male and female meat suit skeletons. Yes, I'm aware. So, for the most part, every skeleton looks exactly the same. Okay? So, that is why you and I both have a skeletal appearance. So that way we can what? be able to relate to any meat suit out there because they have a skeleton inside of them and we look like skeletons? Exactly. Exactly. Oh, hold on a second. Need to block somebody here because it's a bot. But yes, yes. Every skeleton looks, for the most part, identical. And what better way to relate to other to the viewers than to have an appearance of something that every meat suit shares. So you're telling me that the reason we look like skeletons was actually a thought out choice? Yes. Yes. So I don't like humanity. I don't like the human race. I think all humans just need to be just completely and totally eradicated. And there goes half of our viewers. Now, let's say we get somebody in here watching our content and they see our face and they think, well, okay, I'll give them a chance. That is how every skeleton interacts with one another because there's on the deep down our bones are exactly the same. So, with you and I having a skeletal appearance, it's a little bit easier to relate to us. You know what I mean? So, the reason we look like skeletons is so that way we can be more relatable. Well, yeah, so that way we can be more relatable. Exactly. Now, there are going to be some people who look at it and think, oh, well, blah, 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 whatever. Everybody has an opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and most of them talk more shit than others. But, again, that's a personal thing for me. Okay, so before you cause us to lose any more potential viewers, can we move on to the next question? Sure, go right ahead. Okay. So let's talk about you a little bit more. So like what are some of the things that you are interested in? So let's do this a little bit easier. You go ahead. We're going to take the next few minutes. You go ahead and throw out any topic at all, and I will give you my honest opinion about that specific topic. Now, we've kind of rambled on a little bit too long already, so we'll try to make it quick, okay? All right. So, where do you want me to start? Go ahead and start, with whatever the first thing is that comes into your mind. Okay. Do you like sports? Oh, fuck no. Sports are boring as shit, especially anybody who watches golf. If I wanted to watch fucking grass grow, I would go out in the back damn yard, or the front yard, or the graveyard. Anywhere that there's grass, I would go and watch. I'd watch the grass grow. I would watch paint dry before I watch sports because watching paint dry is a lot more entertaining than watching sports. And we just keep losing people. All right. How do you feel about politics, like yeah, just politics in general. How do you feel about politics? Hot take. Anything involving politics is fucking stupid. How can you say that? Because who gets involved in politics? Um, Other meat suits who have their own agendas, I guess? Exactly. Other meat suits. Now, I've already said it once. How do I feel about other meat suits? You're not a big fan of them? Exactly. So, when it comes to politics, it's just a bunch of meat suits using their assholes to throw out their opinions. You are going to get us canceled. Just God, you're going to get us canceled. I could do this so much better myself. Yeah, well, you'll never have that opportunity. Anyway, next question. Okay. How do you feel about, well, you've already answered that question. What are what are what are some of your what do you want to do here on Twitch? Like as far as making content, like what is your ultimate goal, your end game as far as taking over and making content with the both of us? That depends. Do you want the honest answer or do you want the entertaining answer? Go ahead and give me the honest answer. Give me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as far as your opinion. What do I want as far as streaming? To make you my bitch. What the hell? So I told you I don't like other meat suits. I don't like talking to other meat suits because other meat suits, again, they all have an opinion. However, you and I are two sides of the same coin. So I have the meat suit aspect locked down. And as far as me, you are my punching bag. What do you mean I'm your punching bag? Well, I created you, I guess you could say, as a coping mechanism. What the hell do you mean a coping mechanism? So when I get tired of dealing with other meat suits, I can take my aggressions out on you. Are you telling me my whole existence is based on pain? Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. See, you just keep getting smarter and smarter, don't you? Okay, just answer me this. Why do we sound alike? That's something that's probably going to confuse all of the viewers. So the reason you and I sound alike mostly is because I'm lazy and I didn't want to come up with a different voice because, well, look at how everything turned out between you, Jim, and Hammer. Yeah, that was kind of a pain in the ass, wasn't it? Yes, yes, it was. So to make things simple, and because technically we're kind of the same person, it just makes a little bit more sense for us to have the same voice. So what if somebody wants to talk with me, but because I sound like you, they're not going to know who they're talking to? Well, that's where personality comes in. What do you mean? So your personality is you're more friendly, you're more outgoing, you are more um you're more viewer friendly. So I will more than likely there's some plans in place where eventually you may have your time to do your own little show. Since we're doing the Gemini Hammer show here on Twitch now, I may give you a day, but right now it's gonna just be the two of us sharing one thing because again we still have to we have to build ourselves up just a little bit more. Especially seeing as how it's been so damn long that people have pretty much forgotten about you. I don't think anybody could forget about me. Bitch, I created you and I've already forgotten about you. You know, if I had feelings, I would say that they have been hurt a little bit. Good. That's the point. Next question. Okay, let's talk about the name. So, why why did you change my name to G Mini, and why did you take the name that I had? So, let me answer that by stating this. So, you are not Gemini Hammer. I am Gemini Hammer. You are my creation. Now, as far as your name, so your name, you are still Gemini. You know what I mean? Like, so you spell your new name. So obviously it's Gmini. Wrong. I'm looking at it on either side of me right now. How can you tell me I'm wrong? So your name is spelled G dash Mini. Do you know why there's a dash? Because that's where the E used to go. There you go. There you go. So your name is still Gemini. It's just I took out the E and I made it a little bit cooler, a little bit hipper. I still hate this name. Yeah, well, you're stuck with it now, so suck it up, Buttercup. Okay, so can I go by the name Gemini? No, 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 because people still call me Gemini. But your name is Gemini Hammer. You're right. But that's a long ass name. So, just like how most meat suits have a first, second, and third name, um, Gemini Hammer is my full name, but Gemini is kind of my nickname. So, you have been given the nickname G Mini, which is still essentially Gemini. And why is Gemini our thing? Like, what about being a Gemini? Like, what's the deal with that? Ah, I'm glad you asked. So, technically, if I'm not mistaken, I believe both of our actual births make us Gemini. So, I believe we were both kind of created or born, however you want to word it, under the sign of the Gemini. So, you and I are two sides of the same coin. I guess that somewhat makes sense. It does. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, don't you think? I mean, I guess. I don't know. So, Yeah, I'm running out of questions here. How about you? Do you have any questions for me? Can I delete you already? No, no, I don't want to be deleted. Then you had best be on your best damn behavior, because if you're not, I will delete you just like I did your little creations. Why are you so mean to me? What's the point of that? Basically just because I'm an asshole and well, you're my victim. Uh, I have a feeling this is going to be a long, long thing. It is. But I think we went over quite a bit today. I think this would be a good place to stop. We're not going to do a whole big long stream. However, yeah. So let's go ahead and head to the other section that I created. Wait, what other section? The section where we can see our chat. Holy hell! What is all of this? So that right up there is where people when they type in the chat, that is where it'll show up right up there. Okay. And I see you have links for everything. Oh, I just noticed. So what's this? Our next stream is going to be a viewer Q&A. Wait, why is it on July the 10th? A good question. So next week is the 4th of July. And I'm aware that a lot of the meat suits are probably going to be busy. So that's why we're going to skip next week, but then we will definitely be coming back the following week. And that should give us plenty of time to get some questions from the viewers. And yeah. And then also don't forget, you can follow any of these links right here to go to any of our past content. You know, you seem to think that we're going to have a next stream. Oh, we are. We are. Now, whether or not the people interact, you know, it is what it is. However, let's go ahead and head back to the first section. So, I've answered your questions. You've answered. I really don't give a shit about your questions. Anyway, is there anything that you would like to add before we go ahead and call it a day? Nope, not really. Not really. No, no, nothing I could think of. Good, great. So, for all of you lovely viewers out there, yes, I'm aware that today was a pretty short stream, but yeah, I just wanted to give us a little bit of an introduction. So, if you like anything you see, don't forget to hit that follow button, stay up to date, and don't forget to follow us over on our other socials. And if nobody does follow us, I'm going to blame you and you're going to get so much more abuse. Great. Before we end this, I do have one more question. Fine. What's your next question? And this is going to be your last question. So, is that all we're going to be doing? Is just talking and, you know, shooting the shit, essentially? No. Eventually, we'll go back to playing games. It's just we're gonna we're gonna work we're gonna work up to that. So we're gonna take it slow. So, like I said, today was just an introduction. We're gonna skip next week, thanks to the holiday, and then we'll be back the following week to do a Q&A um with anybody who sees this. In fact, there's going to be a post over on our Facebook page. You can find us over there at Gemini Hammer. Asking for topics like questions from you guys that we can answer. So if you have any questions, head over to Facebook at Gemini Hammer and look for that post. It'll be up excuse me. It'll be up immediately after this stream ends, and type your questions there. If you have a question for me, go ahead and make sure that it's noted that, like say something like, question for Gemini, or if you want to ask dipshit over there a question, you can talk about me without insulting me. I can, not going to. Anyway, if you have a question for him, make sure question for G Mini. And I think that's going to be it for us today. I have one more question. Okay, this is definitely your final fucking question. Because I just did the teaser thing, so get it out of the way. So, why do you dress like that? What do you mean? Well, it's the middle of June. All over the United States, there is a heat dome. Which, by the way, where are you even from? In case anybody wants to know. Well, I'm a local Columbus, Ohio boy. So, yeah, hometown. Go Buckeyes! I thought you didn't like sports. I don't, but being from Ohio, if I don't support the Buckeyes, I will catch a lot of shit. So, to cover my ass, go Bucks. Okay, then. Oh, yeah, so why do you dress like that? Well, because there's a heat dome, and I like to torture myself, just like I like to torture you. Trust me, underneath of all of this right now, I am sweating like a whore in church. Very detailed. Thank you. And with that, we're going to go ahead and bring this to a close so that way I can go get stripped out of this, because unfortunately, some of this is already starting to stick to me. So, do you have anything else that you'd like to say, G Mini? For all the viewers out there, show Gemini Hammer a bunch of hate so that way hopefully I can take back over and we can get back on track. Are you planning a coup against me on my own damn channel? I thought you said it was our channel. Yeah, but when you say stupid shit like that, it's my channel. This is going to be horrible. I already know. All right, I'm done. So, go ahead and finish it up. Thank you. So, in closing, welcome to the new home of Gemini Hammer and G Mini and the Gemini Hammer Show. I'm Gemini Hammer, and I'm G Mini. I'm also miserable. Shut up. We'll catch you, not next week again. Happy 4th of July, since we won't be streaming. And we will catch you July the 10th. Have a great one, guys. Peace.